Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Masters video without my ridiculously long hair. Tonight we are getting Champion Iris in the game, right? Which, as always, I will be streaming summons as soon as the banner drops well, if you guys are in the places with the cursed daylight saving time zone, it's 1 hour later, which should be at like 11 PDT, right? So yeah, anyways, it's happening at reset. You guys will know when it happens. I don't know, I'll let you guys know beforehand, as usual. So anyways, let's talk about Iris Hydreigon. And Iris Hydreigon, Champion Iris Hydreigon, let's give her the proper title here, Champion Iris. She's pretty good. I would say she's much better than regular Iris. She's definitely much better than regular Iris over here. And yeah, let's first go over her kit first, right? So she has some really nice stats, right? Yeah, that's pretty nice HP. Good attack and special attack. Solid defenses, honestly. Speed's okay. It's not like too slow. It's not too fast either. As for the move kit, you got Breaking Swipes, which low base power, 2 gauge, guarantee lowers the opponent's attack, and then Snarl, slightly higher base power because it does have a lower accuracy, right? And this one lowers the target special attack instead, so it's an AOE lower opponent physical attack and AOE lower opponent special attack sort of tech-ish unit, right? And then you got Dragon Rush, which has a 20% chance of flinching the opponent at a very, very low accuracy with pretty high base power, right? That's really, really high base power for a 3-gauge move. And then you got the trainer move, 3 heads, makes move gauge accelerate on your whole ally's field of play. It reduces sync move countdown by 1. And then sharply raises the user's attack and then raises the user's crit. Which is nice, I guess, except it only has 1 MP, which is not nice. But I mean, it's a pretty powerful train move, so I guess it's fair if it only has 1 HP, right? Not 1 HP, 1 MP. Moving on, the sync move gets, the more the target stats have been lower, the greater the power of this move. This one is like the one that I think was Poundhead's Dawn has, right? So this, instead of the regular 2 times multiplier, this is actually a 2.2 times multiplier, which is very, very good. Right, and then moving on to the passive that has Piercing Gaze, so your Dragon Rush and Snarl will never miss, or a increased evasion opponent with your Breaking Swipes. So Piercing Gaze, your moves will never miss. Got Power Loving, which the more the opponent's stats have been lower, the more it powers up moves, and then Double Drop, which when an opponent's stat is lowered, it is lowered by double the stat ranks. Again, we don't know if this is for your whole team or if this is just for yourself. Most likely just for yourself. Kind of overpowered if it's for your whole team, right? So instead of -1 special attack with Snarl, -1 physical attack with Breaking Swipes, it's going to be -2 special attack with Snarl and -2 physical attack with Breaking Swipes, right? So yeah, you got a pretty interesting base kit, right? This isn't like extremely, because at base, what you're trying to do is just like lower your opponent's attack and special attack, which could be used in like some, scenarios, right? If you're running I guess if you're running some kind of like stall team, right? If you want to run Hydreigon and, on a toxic stall team for Master Mode, you could definitely do that, right? But most of its stuff comes from the sync grid, right? Most of its the highlights for Hydreigon comes from the sync grid, and by that I mean damage, because it does really, really, really good damage. I mean, its Dragon Rush damage isn't like anything crazy. It's not bad though. It's pretty decent damage, Dragon Rush. But the really big thing is that you have the second highest possible sync nuke in the game after Marnie, right? Which is really, really nice. Although it is slightly hard to set up, but it also does a lot of damage. So anyways, let's go over the grid. So the grid, you got the big 2 things: Devastation over here, and then Pecking Order over here, right? One is if you lower the opponent's special attack to the minimum, right, -6, you get double your sync move damage, and then you get another double over here with lowering the opponent's attack to -6, right? doesn't have to be -6 for it to activate, but -6 is the maximum that you have to decrease it to, right? Which you want to do anyways, because you also have the innate sync move boost over here as well. So the reason why I'd say this is slightly hard to achieve, because you know, you sync every 3 turns, right? And then 3 turns you can only get like one of these to like the max, so you can't like get both of them to the max. It's gonna take you 2 sync cycles, and that's also assuming you're not like using any like other moves for yourself, right? You're not using 3 heads or whatever. That's assuming someone else is buffing you, right, for you to max out your sync move damage, which by the time you do max it out, it will be very, very, very powerful. Also likely that it won't be like relevant, because like the opponent might already been like sent to the shower room already. But who knows, right? So yeah, that is like the first issue with Hydreigon, right? Fantastic damage once you get it up. But you kind of have to dedicate like 6 full turns to doing that, and also, yeah, right? Unless you run Hydreigon with another, either attack lure or special attack lure, right? Something like a little creamy or something like that gives you -2. Then you could get in like 1 sync move cycle, which is really, really good, right? As long as you slap another support on the team to max out Hydreigon's physical attack and crit, right? Which would be really, really nice with Hilbert, as long as Hilbert could survive that long enough, which again, I do slightly question Hilbert's tanking abilities, but you know, if it does, then you're set, right? Because this is, again, very, very, very powerful. So yeah, you definitely do need to kind of build a team around Hydreigon. It reminds me a bit of like Mallow, which again, Mallow has a very, very high damage cap on her sync nuke, right? It's just that it takes a while to set up, and then when you're setting it up, you can't really use like, you know, power whip or whatever, right? You kind of just have to keep drop kicking your opponent, which does lower your overall damage up, because again, if you're using like Snarl or Breaking Swipe for like 3 turns instead of like Dragon Rush, which does so much more damage, right? Even though like your sync nuke damage does like a lot of damage, does kind of lower your overall damage output, unfortunately, right? If you can, like, you know, if it's like a very, very, very long battle, like for example, like a Legendary Arena, right? Legendary Arena, if you already like have your opponent's you know, stats lower, then you could start spamming Dragon Rush, which could do a decent amount of damage as well, right? You got power loving over here, right, and all that stuff. So that could be something helpful, right? As for some other stuff that Hydreigon has, you got super duper effective 2 on Snarl, which you could pick up just to do like a bit more damage. I'm just not sure how much it's worth it, honestly. You got Ground Guard, which it's okay. Move Gauge Refresh 3 on Snarl, and then Breaking Swipes also Move Gauge Refresh 3. Dragon Rush also Move Gauge Refresh 3. You got Dragon Rush Trip Up 6. Has a 70% chance for lowering the opponent's speed when you use Dragon Rush. Honestly, not worth it. I mean, it's good, but like if you're trying to like just use that just to get like the sync move buff over here, it's really not worth it. Just like use Snarl and stuff instead, which you're going to be using anyways if you're gonna, you know, either Devastation or Pecking Order, right? Or Snarl / Breaking Swipes. As for some other stuff, MP Refresh on 3 heads. Unfortunately, only MP Refresh 2 with the 1 MP. Breaking Swipes, Crit Strike 1. Extra damage to Breaking Swipes if you want. 3 heads ramped up, which is not worth it either, since you only have like 1 MP. Like, there's some terrible notes. So overall, you don't have too many great notes outside of like your big ones, which are the important ones, right? So that also brings to the other thing, right, in terms of like her banner, right? Because if you look at her kit, at 1 out of 5, she has really nothing, honestly, right? Again, you do have like Snarl and Breaking Swipes, which you could use her on like some kind of weird stall team to lower the opponent's, you know, stats and all that stuff. Talk to stall team. Although, again, on the other hand, you could also just use Janine for that, which is, she is definitely slower, but she also does lower speed too. But she is overall slower, because you don't get double drop with Janine. And you'd have to wait, you have to get the poison first. But she is also very, like, incredibly cheaper. or Technido Queen, right? Janina or Technido Queen. So, like, in my opinion, like, 1 out of 5, again, she's not bad, but she's also, like, not anything, like, amazing. Because, again, like, 1 out of 5, you just don't get too much of the damage stuff, alright? You still could do, like, okay-ish damage on your sync move. You could do some okay-ish damage on your Dragon Rush, but it's, like, nowhere, like, anything, like, crazy, right? Unfortunately, 2 out of 5 doesn't really get much better, right? You still don't have either Devastation or Pecking Order, which is pretty devastating. You only get it at 3 out of 5, so here's the deal, folks. The banner, again, it is a Pokefair. Pokefairs are nice, but if you really want to run like a efficient and like or I don't want to say useful, because again, at 1 out of 5 she is like still useful, but like not, it's just like not like incredibly fantastic, right? If you want to like really use Champion Iris, you kind of have to go for 3 out of 5. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, like, okay, you either go for 1 out of 5 if you're like a collector, you just want Iris, then you go for 1 out of 5, or you go for 3 out of 5, right, just to make her like really, really good. 2 out of 5 is honestly pointless. Like, you're getting Snarl, super duper effective too. What else are you getting? Again, like move gauge refresh on breaking swipes and Dragon Rush, and then like these are like no one cares. 2 out of 5 gives you like almost nothing, right? So either you go for 1 out of 5 just for the unit, or you go 3 out of 5 for like to actually like utilize the unit's full potential, right? So she is a bit of an expensive unit. So like if you want to like run summon on her rerun, and when she comes back with like some other unit paired up in the banner, like she could potentially rerun with maybe like Diantha. They could like do like a Diantha Champion Iris rerun dual banner, right? You could do that. And by the time hopefully you have enough like tech candies to make sure you get a 3 out of 5 Champion Iris over here, right? Or you could probably do something like that. You could still summon on like the initial banner if you don't really care about like any other Pokefairs and you just really, really want Iris, Champion Iris. Again, you could go for that, especially if you're a huge Champion Iris fan, obviously you should go for that, right? But yeah, you kind of just have to go like all in for this one if you're going for Iris, which again, kind of iffy, right? It's not like something you need, right? I mean, at this point, a lot of units you don't like need. It's just more so your preference and what you want to fill in your team, right? In terms of like a dragon type damage dealer, like you like right? We have Lance, we have Cynthia or Singsu Cynthia, we have Mega Altaria, and free to play we have Palkia now, which is really, really great there. And there are some other options. When Rayquaza gets a Synchro down the line, that could be a really, really good option as well. So it's not like if you don't get Champion Iris, you're just gonna be like, you're out of the meta. No, it's definitely not something that you need. But it is pretty good, right? Again, very, very, very good damage on the sync move, and does have like some uses with certain toxic or just certain stall teams. Doesn't have to be toxic, right? So anyways, that's one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I will be summoning tonight as soon as Valorant goes live. So go check out the live stream. Good luck to everyone summoning. All right. Hope you all I get her, I guess. And yeah, again, that's one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. So on our channel for some more massive content. I'll see you guys in the next one.